Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. New York welcomes Roy Clark.
Hey everyone, this is Basile, and you are listening to A Pinch of Basile. I am Basile. That's right, Herb and Rosemary's son. I'm your host, and you're joining us on Facebook. Thank you so much, Basile fans on Facebook. Don't forget, you can call in as well, 844-790-8255. That's 844-790-8255. Besides our live stream on Facebook, you can listen online at americamatters.us and on the TuneIn app from your phone or tablet. Just search America Matters. You don't have any excuses for not listening, for not watching us. Folks, for God's sakes, we are here. I am here live in Chicago right now. That's right, Chicago, at my cousin's place, Athena and Jim. They're sitting there running around. They're going to see people doing dance bys and, okay, I'm sorry, I have no control over certain things. Yeah, they can see you. Save me, someone. This is the reason why I do things at my office by myself. Anyway, I am here the next couple of weeks. We're going to have some amazing guests and topics today. I'm really looking forward to talking to Shawn Ford. If you don't know him by name, you're going to know this. He's unbelievable from Bar Rescue, and he's the resident Master Mixologist for the show. And, of course, I am also here with my wonderful co-host, Janice Hermson, who I love like no other. You know, folks, the reason why I'm so damn good at this job is because of Jan Hermson. That's all I'm saying. She is everything. Janice, how are you, honey?
I am just fine. I am. It's been a busy week. It's just been kind of crazy, you know?
Yes, yes, and you're there in Reno, Nevada, while I'm here in Chicago, and It's really a magnificent thing to see us go off on this thing like we have. And I want to welcome all my listeners and followers and viewers on Facebook for our live portion of this show. Thank you all so much. And what's going on, honey?
Not too much. We've been just busy working hard, and we've been putting out a lot of books out of our company. We do publishing, as you know, and so I've been spending a lot of hours binding books. What fun. What a great way to spend the week.
Wow. I love that. Binding books. So you're a book binder as well?
Yes, we do the whole thing. We do print on demand. We do, the whole 9 yards. So
What's the biggest order you have ever put together?
As far as dollar-wise or
No.
numbers?
I mean, like you said, we need like 1,000 books, or we need 10,000 books.
We've had orders for no. We're not really. We're better at the smaller stuff. We can do it all, but we have to farm that out. So 1,000 is probably the best, or the most, and then we can do one. We've done one book. We've done 1,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah,
that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we were going through some of this stuff, and I know that you came and you and I were talking about some of this stuff on, what is it, boredom.com? What
yes,
is it?
That was boredom.com that we were talking about. We were talking about Einstein, remember?
Oh, yeah. That was great. The guy had a thing for his cousin. And he didn't want a woman to talk.
Of course, that's what you remember, right?
Well, of course, because it was. I get emotional over stuff like that. To be quite honest with you, when woman, sit, don't talk. I get emotional. It's that's just the way I am.
Yes. So you like the weird rules that he set for his wife, right?
I think they were hysterical because try that today. A woman will chop you up and throw you in the woods, and ain't nobody coming looking for you.
That's right. That's right.
But you were going through some of this stuff. You want to tell some of the people and some of the things that you found?
You want to talk about coffee? We're going to talk about you being a coffee drinker. Are you a coffee drinker?
I am a huge freak for coffee. Oh. I don't want to mention the name because I don't want to, really put in there. But if you follow me on Facebook, you'll know that I used to have my little thing that I would do with a certain coffee company that had shops all over and, unbelievable donuts and stuff like that as well. So, but yeah, I drink about 5 cups of coffee a day.
So do you know how far back coffee goes? 5 cups? Oh, I drink much more than 5 cups.
Do you really?
That's
but I drink,
weak.
But I drink the big ones. I mean, I really drink the big.
But come on. I'm drinking coffee until I go to sleep.
Do you really?
I do.
My God. I mean, I listen, I love any type of coffee, and there's so many different types of coffees that are out there. I wasn't tickled by some of the information that you shared with me.
I have some really good ones for later. Oh, my God.
God.
Craig is showing me. I wish we had him on camera. He is showing me his gigantic mug. Would we call that I wouldn't call that a mug. I would call that a gallon jug, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge.
But doesn't it get cold after a while if you put that much coffee in there?
It sure seems to me it would be, yeah.
I got to have mine hot.
Me too.
I got to have my coffee like I like my woman. Extra cream, 4 equals. I've always been that way, and that's the way I will stay. Too much. The good thing, I mean, I love my coffee. I can't start my day without coffee.
No.
I cannot start it at all.
No. I start mine and end mine that way.
Oh,
it's all good.
Man. But also, I guess they had.
If you look at the video, you can see the Thirst Slayer. He took a picture for us. Are you looking at Facebook at all, or are you not?
I am not looking
okay.
All
right. Well, when you view the video, and for anyone who might be watching, they can see the Thirst Slayer that Craig drinks from, I guess, right? Oof, that's too much for me.
And
not so much coffee, but soda.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
And the thing is too, like being Greek, we have a lot of Greek coffee will keep you up because and I'll tell you the story after that about my grandmother and the crazy things that she would do, making me go ahead and drink Greek coffee because she wanted to tell my fortune by flipping it over, and then she reads the cup afterwards. Some of the stuff. I mean, I remember one year I drank so much coffee I didn't sleep November. I was 8 years old, for God's sakes. Okay, so anyway.
Well, there is one of the little facts here that says that you can OD on coffee.
Yeah,
that you'd have to drink about 30 cups in a very short period of time. Yeah, I don't think I drank 30 cups of coffee. My sister might, but not me.
Well, listen, we're going to come right back after a few words from those crazy sponsors that we owe everything to. You're listening and watching A Pinch of Basile. Stay tuned for our next segment. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, we're back. I always say if you're going to have a crazy engineer, let it be our guy.
That's right. He always makes us laugh, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love him. I love him.
That's one of the things of the automation that I had crap out yesterday. So, yep.
Is that what it was? Okay, yeah. That's fine. Listen, we're back. You're listening to Basile all around the world, also from my fans over in Australia, South Africa, over to the UK, throughout Europe and Greece, coming here to the good old USA, and, of course, Canada. And, of course, I'm huge in Central and South America. I don't know if you knew that.
I knew that.
Hola. Okay. So anyway, listen.
I wasn't sure you were talking to me, or you were just like throwing it out there.
I was talking to you.
Oh, there you go. See, I was sleeping. I don't know what to tell you.
You were sleeping.
I was sleeping. Yeah, just for a moment.
For those of you, yeah, absolutely. And for all of you who are watching right now, you're watching live on Facebook under Basile Fans, and of course, you can always go to AmericaMatters.us. Go to the TuneIn app as well. Look for Pinch of Basile on the radio show. This is a fun show with a great guest. But let's just, for a second, we're talking about coffee drinking. You and I are both crazy coffee drinkers.
Yes.
And it says also the one big important thing, that coffee drinkers live longer.
Oh, that's always good. Yeah, I don't know if I read that one.
Yeah, it's coffee. Yeah, on
so I should drink more
on average. I would drink as much as you can. Now, my wife for years has been trying to get me to drink tea, and I know she's trying to kill me. That's all I'm saying. She's slowly trying to kill me, and I'd say it's okay. I'm faced with some certain things that I need to know, and that's one of them. That my wife just wants me for my money, and
trying to do you in.
She is, and thank God, we keep the life insurance thing going on. But just do me a favor, because I know her, Janice. Do me a favor, because she's the first one. She says she's full of compassion, but she's the first one to go, pull the plug, pull the plug, pull the plug, ma'am. We got pull the plug. He didn't want to live this way, ma'am. Pull the plug, ma'am. He's got a sprained ankle. So I'm telling you, I'm always a little bit leery about that. But let's get back to the coffee conversation.
Well, you can eat coffee cherries as a food. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that.
Have you eaten those?
Yes, I have, and it doesn't do me any. No, it doesn't do anything.
They say it's an energy-rich snack ball, according to PBS.
I can understand that, but I still, I have a hard time eating an artichoke. So, you don't
like artichokes?
Not so much, no.
Oh,
no.
I like
that
artichokes.
and asparagus and.
That's good too. You don't like those green things, huh?
I like green things. Artichokes, asparagus, and Brussels sprouts. Not so much.
Not so much. All right.
Not so much on the Brussels sprouts either. But coffee, absolutely. Absolutely. And they say that coffee beans technically are seeds anyway.
Huh. Well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So found on flowering shrubs, but we call them beans because the resemblance, is it legumes? Legumes?
I think legumes. I think is how that's said.
Legumes?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. I was reading that, and I'm like, wow, they're legumes. And
I like the way you say it, though.
Well, I give it a French
a little
twist.
accent there.
Yeah, resembling the legumes, and she, and you can eat them, like as food, which is I knew that, and there are mainly two types of coffee. Did you know that?
I did. Yes.
Arabica and Robusta.
Isn't it Arabica or is it Arabica? I don't know where that accent goes.
Arabica. I think it's Arabica.
Okay. All right. See,
Yeah,
shows you again. What do I know?
Well, you know what? Being the man of the world that I am.
Did you see me roll my eyes?
Yeah,
roll my eyes.
I can. I get this roll. When you hit big places like Indiana and Illinois,
there you go.
You've covered the world.
That's it.
No, it's Arabica. You never remember those commercials? That wonderful Arabican scent of coffee.
No, but when I don't know something, I'm not afraid to say I don't know.
No, I'm pretty positive it's Arabica and Robusta.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Grown
I'll
predominantly.
let you say those.
Arabica species, although, let me see, less popular. The Robusta tastes slightly more bitter and contains more caffeine, which that I didn't know.
Yeah, I would like the Arabica better.
Would you? Yeah, I think me too. Now, who would you think is the number 1, number 2, and number 3 growers of coffee in the world?
Well, can I cheat?
Sure.
I know that Brazil produces about a third of the world's supply.
Very good. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But here's what I didn't know. Vietnam.
I know. I saw that. That's weird. I would not have even guessed that.
I did not know that we had any coffee in Vietnam, to be quite honest with you.
No.
And I thought that was actually pretty interesting. And the third, tell them what the third is.
I don't know.
You don't know what the third is?
No.
Oh, it's actually we have places here in the United States.
Oh, you're talking about those two, the 2 U.S. states that produce coffee.
Yes.
Yes. Well, one of them would be kind of easy to guess, wouldn't it? Hawaii.
You know what? I didn't think it was going to be. Well, yeah, I guess Hawaii.
Yeah.
I never really
the Kona
thought
coffee.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Kona coffee has always been delicious. I love Kona coffee.
And then, of course, leave it to California. They're always looking for something to do. And
something to grow.
Something to grow.
Okay. If
to add to their, maybe they will start rolling that. You never know.
They can start rolling up coffee beans and smoking that bad boy.
That's right.
They'll
find a way.
We'll be stoned and wired, for God's sakes.
There you go.
Perfect.
Why not, right?
Absolutely. Well, being Greek, we used to have Greek coffee all the time. And Greek coffee is this very strong coffee. And in Greek, we call it Elliniko Café. Okay, Clinico Cafe, and they would take this, and you would have a little thing that they stir it and they clean it, and you put a lot of sugar in it, and this bubbly kaimaki comes up, and you start taking sips of it. But the reason why my grandmother always made me drink this stuff was because basically, she wanted to tell my fortune, because once you're done, the grounds that are left over, you flip them over. And those grounds will come down, and it's always something to do on a mountain. So, oh, my goodness, look at this. You have love on a mountain with a bunny jumping around, and there's love in its pockets. And she goes, Basil, do you know what this means? Yeah, you need your medication. That's what it means. What you need here is this is the most ridiculous thing in the world. And honest to God, one time I drank like 3 cups of Greek coffee. I was like in the 3rd grade, and I did not sleep November. The whole month of November, I was up.
There you go.
Laundry, dry clean. I mean, whatever I could do for my parents, I did for that whole time. But it was a little bit crazy to say the least. But espresso, I mean, it's a lot like the espresso stuff that the Italians have.
Right.
And I did not know that the espresso actually means pressed out in Italian. Did you know that?
I did not. Not until I read this little bit of facts that we have here. So interesting.
It is. And although espresso has more caffeine per volume than coffee, it would take 3 shots to equal the amount in a regular cup of Joe.
Yeah. See, this is what happens when you do a radio show. You get educated.
Yes.
About things like coffee.
Especially when you're dealing with me. I'm all about the education. Wait till we get to when we start talking about sex education. That's what I'm all about.
I thought we were a PG show.
We are a PG too. That's for a midnight madness show that we're going to do tonight.
You're working on it, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it. That's right.
We're
doing it always. But listen, and then the most expensive coffee, more than $600 a pound.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought that was nuts. Who would pay that?
A lot of crazy people have.
Did you see what it came from?
Yes, that's where I was going to get to.
Oh, okay. I'll let you share that news.
Varieties come from the feces of an Asian palm. Now, how do you pronounce that?
You can guess that one. I think it's civet.
Is it civet?
I think so.
The feces of an Asian palm civet. I don't know what that civet is, but I don't want to drink its feces. I can almost guarantee you I do not want that at all. And I'm just like, this is crazy. But they said it's got a smooth,
a slender nocturnal carnivorous mammal with a barred and spotted coat and well-developed anal scent glands native to Africa and Asia. There you go.
I don't care how well your butt smells. I'm not drinking your coffee. And I don't know how else to put this. I don't care if, man, no. There are certain things I will not do.
Pretty bad.
And that is and you know that this civet is walking around going, watch this, I'm going to crap, and they're going to drink this stuff later on. I know they're talking to each other about this. These crazy people are nuts. And that's all they're saying right now. And then let me see. And then did you know that people have tried to ban coffee as well?
I heard about that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I never knew that. And it says, I guess back in 1511, leaders in Mecca believed it stimulated radical thinking. Well, it's been stimulating my thinking for many years, and thank God for something has been stimulated. Let it be the coffee, except for the civet. I will not drink the civets. I don't care how radical. No.
You're not paying $600.
No.
I don't blame you.
No. Would you listen? If there was an opportunity for you wouldn't do it either.
No.
I know.
No.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I don't know how people can do this stuff, for God's sakes. Anyway.
Hey, there's Basile again. He's back.
I'm back.
You're back.
You see me now?
We can see you now. Can you see me now? Isn't that can you hear me now?
Yeah, well, no, not in this case. Can you see me now?
Yes, he's back.
Yeah, and by the way, thank you for all those comments. You guys bring in the comments, And again, you can always contact us at 844-790-8255. But listen, folks, we're going to get right back to you. You're listening, that's right, to A Pinch of Basil. Stick around. Our guest is coming up.
unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link.
Yeah, we're back to you right now with a pinch of basil. Don't forget, I am streaming live on Facebook. You can also listen on the TuneIn app on any phone or device. And, of course, you can always go to americamatters.us. If you want to comment, go to my Basil fans page. You also have any questions for us, give us a call. You're going to want to give this gentleman a call. You can give us a call at 844-790-8255, or you can also text. That's right. Janice, can you give them that number?
Absolutely. They can text at 775-237-2266. And do it now.
Do it right now. Right now, folks. First of all, I want to give a small little bio. Shawn Ford, a.k.a. I love this, the Liquid Savant. That is hysterical. I love that, bro. Northeastern Ohio native. Go gang. Listen, man. Browns, all the way Browns. Browns fan.
In Baker we trust.
My brother, I'm starting to love you. You know, I'm just saying that right now. Northeastern Ohio native. He is nationally recognized and award-winning hospitality trainer, operator, and concept developer. He is respected industry voice with a 25 years of hands-on experience, man. Dude,
started when I was 3.
You started when you were 3, yes. Yeah, all right, full of it already. That's good. I love it. He has 2 amazing children. He appears as a resident Master Mixologist on the hit Paramount Network TV show Bar Rescue, films, commercials, and works various charitable projects. He also serves as chairman for Forward Hospitality Solutions, where he handles a role of consultant, development advisor, and lead trainer. You're very busy. Welcome to A Pinch of Basil. Shawn, what's going on, my brother?
Just a boy with a dream, man. Here in tropical Cleveland, Ohio.
Brother, I know. Isn't it lovely?
Listen, man, I've lived in the Caribbean several times. I prefer to do things on the West Coast or on the South Coast. But I live on the North Coast. It's my home. I love it. I just love it a lot more when the sun is shining. But thankfully, next month, I'll be out of here for the entire month, launching a big project in downtown Nashville called 4th and Peabody. I'll be there for 5 weeks. We open January the 14th, but it's a fabulous concept. We've been working about a year and a half on it. Really excited. I'm excited that it gets me out of tropical Cleveland, Ohio in January.
Yeah, the only thing tropical is when they bring the Home and Flower show to us during the months there. That's about it.
You are not wrong. Just reminds us of our angst.
Yeah, you got that right. How did you get involved with doing Bar Rescue, if you don't mind me asking?
I was the beverage director for the reigning James Beard Award winner here out of Cleveland, Ohio, Chef Jonathan Sawyer. And they happened to stumble into our space called the Greenhouse Tavern on an off day. We used to take 5 days to shoot. The 4th day would be the day that you saw the construction. Now they've been able to compress it to 4 days. We do all of the off-site training on the same day that they do the construction. But as luck would have it, it was the last Thursday that the staff had off, and another resident expert and one of my good friends, Mia Mastriani, and 5 or 6 of the crew member happened to just stumble into my place. And an hour and a half later, they loved what they saw. We started to build a rapport, and they invited me to a shoot. One that was wrapping up in Youngstown, Ohio. We went out the next night, saw what they did. And again, as fate would have it, their next episode, they were filming a mile from my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I spent the last week with them. That would be the first episode that I appear in, the Ripper Owens Rock House episode, the guy from Almost Famous. Mm-hmm. And you'll find me doing the exit interview for that episode, and that was my screen test.
Did you want to? Is that one of the most, I guess, episodes that really stick out as one of your favorite that you've wound up doing or most memorable?
I mean that one's the one that I appear the least in, but that's the one that gave me my shot. So I'll always be grateful for that. It's also in northeastern Ohio. It's the one that people around here know the most. But no, I've had some pretty memorable ones. We had a guy strip naked and take a shower in the pot sink in Memphis. Yes.
Well, that's just an Elvis thing, baby. That's all that is.
he was way too comfortable doing it. So it was not the first time he'd showered in front of a mass group of people. But
well, I'm sure sometimes I guess you can mix some bath water in some of the cocktails that out there in Memphis. I'm sure you can use some of that. You never know.
Well, I'm always looking for new ingredients and new flavors, but I think I'll let that one go down the drain.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that.
Literally.
How does it work? How is it like working with Taffer?
You know what? Taffer is one of the smartest guys I've ever met. You don't get to that point by not knowing what you're doing, not having a work ethic. As much as he knows the bar industry, he knows people.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you can attest to this that a wise man once told me that your network will determine your network. And
isn't that the truth?
Yeah, and John is the king of that, and he brought me into his network, and I owe him a big thanks for that.
Is the way he loses his mind on some of the episodes and everything, is that sometimes contrived, or is that just really the way he is? That he gets so upset.
Well, you know what? He's passionate enough about it that it just has to come out. Like he has no filter, and he's paid to have no filter. And if we're being honest, that's one of my favorite parts is that I get to check my OCD at the hotel and check my filter, and I have free reign to just unleash on people. But when you only have 4 days to change lives, and we can slap new lipstick on an old pig, and I can spend what little time I have with that staff teaching them how to make a cocktail. But if I can't teach them about why they should care about how they make a cocktail, and if John can't get across, if we can't change people in 4 days, the bars never survive.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of interesting too, because sometimes they'll give you the best, they'll turn that new leaf, and then as soon as you walk out, it goes back the same way,
Correct.
And I can't stand that. I can't stand that at all.
Correct, and that speaks to one of my more memorable episodes we did in Vegas. The gentleman was a blazing alcoholic, and he had a lot of issues in his life. His wife's son passed of cancer, and then she committed suicide, and So it's hard to blame the guy, but he was trying to drink himself to death, and he couldn't understand that he was taking the whole bar down with him. And
wow.
So if we couldn't save him, if we couldn't get him sober, so we had to put him in rehab. His new fiance, who they had a newborn child, ended up having a panic attack, and she went to the hospital in an ambulance before we could even do the stress test. And it was the first stress test ever where we didn't have ownership or management there. And you'll never guess what happened. The bar ran smooth as a baby's bottom.
You take away the two main cogs, and things just work out better.
Correct, because he not only was an alcoholic, he was an alcoholic who drank at his own bar. And she would be upset, and she would get mad at the staff, and then she would eventually enable him and cave, and okay, we'll only give him 2 or 3, and then 2 or 3 turns to 7, and they're fighting, and it's just an unhealthy work environment for everybody. So like I say, to bring it full circle, none of that's contrived. You've done enough film that everything has to be bigger for the camera,
sure,
in order for it to pick it up. But there's not one thing that's contrived or one thing that's fake about it. I mean, as a matter of fact, the most heated I've ever seen John is when I was on set when an episode that aired, somebody posted something saying one of the owners didn't like the way they were portrayed, posted something saying that they were coached, and John's head popped. So the conversation that was had with the producers and the powers that be was so uncomfortable that I had to leave the trailer.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Before I go any further, listen, I just want to make sure that my engineer understands that I can't see the time element, too, that we're working on. So if he can throw that clock back on, because I want to make sure I get every second of you in here, because I got to tell you, you're probably the most interesting guest I've had on here, and I've had some fantastic guests. So whenever you can bring me that time select up there, man.
You still have a couple of minutes, bud.
Okay, just let me know because I watch that show all the time. I'm in the industry where not only do I perform in theaters and at casinos, but I also perform at clubs.
Right.
And would always love to see the way they would come up because they say, hey, can we name a drink after you? Can we create something because your name is Basile? You're named after a food or a seasoning or whatever the case may be. I said, sure. And I've always, loved the idea of watching actually these bartenders work. And I used to, after I lost my ride playing ball, I actually had to go to work behind a bar and actually made money that way. And so I've always had a love for new exotic drinks and everything. How do you come up with some of these new crazy exotic drinks?
Well, I mean, it just in the same way that a chef comes up with a new exotic food. There's only ever really three ways to create a drink. You either take a classic and you tweak it, or you take one of the 12 categories of cocktails and build out based on those preset determined ratios, or you start with a flavor in mind and think, how do I recreate this? Mm-hmm. And the benefit of nailing the science and the ergonomics and all of the things that go along with that. Once you get the basics down, then you can start to apply your own creativity. When I go into a market, I try to find things that are regional, sometimes seasonal, and things that I haven't had a chance to play with. Like for instance, I do a big culinary event called the Liquid Savant in Haiti every September, and I just discovered sugar apples last year. I discovered them on the last day, so I had an entire year to think about this new product that I didn't even know was available. So when I landed this year, we did some amazing things with it.
Hey, you hold on to that thought for just 1 second because we're going to be right back. I got to tell you, Shawn Ford, our guest, he's unbelievable. Listen to some more ideas he's got on A Pinch of Basile. We'll be right back.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now, back to the show.
Oh, so glad you can make it to A Pinch of Basile. That's right. We're talking about, well, it's not really about me, but, it should be about me. It should always be about me. I'm self-centered. That's what my wife says anyway, but I don't listen to her because I'm looking at the mirror while I'm saying that anyway. But right now, folks, listen, I have to tell you, Shawn Ford is on with us, and Shawn, we were talking off the air as well. A little shout out to our good friend David as well, who might be listening right now, and I want to thank him because he introduced me to you. And I wish I would have had more time to go, but I was running all over the place to even sit down and make a talk. But I think you and I are going to be fast friends just for the fact, and we'll bring David down to Wilmington, North Carolina. We'll put some cocktails and some food together and have a great time. I want you to tell me a little something about your newest project that you're doing right with Graham Beck.
Graham Beck and I are working on a project that we're tentatively calling Spilled TV. Uh-huh. It is going to be the first reality TV show that actually features mixology in the same light as chefing. So imagine Chopped meets Hell's Kitchen meets pros versus cons. So the concept is to pit three mixologists against each other in a 3-round competition with a mystery ingredient box. Each round they get a spirit and a must-use ingredient or a must-use technique or a handicap. You can't use ice, can't whatever. And the third round is a chef's pairing. So we have a celebrity chef preparing an item, and all of the mixologists will get as a description. So that's it. And again, they'll have a must-use ingredient and again, either a must-use spirit or a handicap type deal. But we're currently in the process. We've got it writ. We've got the pilot ready to go. We're in the process of raising funding to shoot the pilot. We've already got a couple of networks waiting for a sizzle reel, as I'm sure you're aware of. But we've got some pretty heavy hitters involved. One of our supporters and one of the guys on the pilot and one of the celebrity judges, who's also providing the original score for the show as one of the original members of the Beastie Boys.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
DJ Hurricane, one of only 3 DJs currently in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Another shout out to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her and I have been friends for several years. He loves the project and happy to be a part of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know of a fantastic production company called Spice Rack Entertainment. Maybe we'll just have to talk. I'm not going to mention who owns Spice Rack Entertainment, but it could be named after a guy named after a seasoning. Anyway, so talk to me. We'll discuss it if we'll talk about that sizzle reel and see what we can put together for you. We have a great company, and projects like that make me excited.
One of our listeners wants to jump in and just say that those are totally awesome ideas, Shawn. That's from Ray Beeble.
Ray, thank you very much. To be completely honest with you, I like Basile consider ourselves idea guys. And for the longest time, I have a great idea, wake up the next morning and tell somebody, and they'd point out the obvious hole in it. So then I started taking a couple of weeks and thinking them through, and then everything that I came out with, somebody was like, well, dehydrated water, who's going to buy that?
Yeah. My God.
So I held this one in for 6 months, and then we're 2.5 years in the making, and there has not yet been one person who hasn't been excited about the idea. As a matter of fact, the idea the comment that we get most is, I can't believe that it's not on TV yet. So for us, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's a race for us to be the first to announce our presence with authority, and then because we know that these types of shows are coming down the pipeline, especially with the need for so much content, with the advent of Netflix and Hulu, Disney's got its own Amazon, sure. Exactly. There's so much need for content, and we've done our due diligence, we've done our research, and with the people that I know in the industry, and some of the connections that I'm blessed to have with celebrity chefs and celebrity mixologists, we've had a great think tank about this. Mm-hmm. And just for instance, the third round with the celebrity chef was a late ad, but it just makes sense. It's not about my idea. It's about an idea that props up what I do with the integrity and passion that I and so many others have for it.
Right. And actually trying to find, but you said something, there's always a need for content, and then you have to deal with the small-minded people sometimes in the industry that we work in that says, I don't know. Well, you know what? You guys are playing rehashed. When I saw Magnum PI being rerun, and because I couldn't come up with anything new to actually put up there, I threw my hands up and said, this is crazy. There's got to be more shows. There's got to be more people who say yes to put these projects on television, and with creative people like you, with creative people, even like me and other people that are out there that can go ahead and put out TV, that can go out and put this stuff out. And that's why I created my own production company. So we will definitely talk. Listen, I know, because one of the questions here that we came up with, you spent some time in Haiti.
Yes.
And for this annual festival, how did that come about to go to Haiti of all places and come up with this festival?
Well, again, it's I tell my kids, don't worry about picking fruit. I think that people worry too often what's in it for them, and I think that if you just worried about planting seeds everywhere you go, someday you'll pick your head up and you have more fruit than you can pick. There is a place just outside of Cleveland that is known around the world. It's called Chef's Garden. It's a haven for chefs and industry peers to come to and learn how to do farm to table, how to do sustainable agriculture and things like that. So they had a last minute cancellation for the mixologist that they had 4 years ago. And the curators of the event made a call to Chef's Garden and asked if they knew anybody. And I had a good reputation, so they recommended me, put us in contact. And they asked me if I'd be willing to do the event. A significant portion of it goes to charity. And one of the things that my industry lacks is the opportunity to give back, one of the 8 parts of the philosophical whole person. So I try to find every opportunity that I can to do that, and this seemed like a great opportunity. So I committed to it, and I said, sure, I'm in. They said, great, we need you on a plane tomorrow morning at 11. And I said, what? I have a career. I have other commitments. So that year I didn't get to go, but we had a whole year to get a run at it, and this was my third year with the event. It's called the Goût Saveur Lakai. It translates to the taste and flavors of Haiti. It's an opportunity to bring international chefs, some with some high celebrity status, some are on their way up, but all that are passionate and for one common cause. We've had some Chopped winners. We've had some James Beard Award winners. We've got people that got their own TV shows, things like that on it. But for those 5 days, we're all there, brothers in arms, seeing what we do. And I do the cocktails for the festival. I generally do 5 to 7 pop-ups where we basically play Robin Hood. We charge primarily the 1% of the population in Haiti that controls 99% of the wealth. So we charge them to come eat and drink and be merry, and then we use the majority of their proceeds to sustain the festival, but the rest of it goes to the Haitian Culinary Alliance, which runs 2 or 3 charity schools in downtown Port-au-Prince. So when I'm there, I also teach a mixology academy to third world Haitians that we put together, and I dedicated the course in my father's name, who passed a few years ago from cancer.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, brother.
Basil, can I jump in here real quick? Because I got a question here from Larry, and I'm going to massacre his name, De Lara Beatty. Do you think that the gene pool of creativity is limited? You guys were talking about content issues, and that
Correct.
Hollywood is reaching its limit.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, that's my opinion. I think it's gotten to the point where everyone's afraid of losing their job, and they don't want to go ahead and take that chance to do something. I think, in my opinion, that you have the opportunity when you have brilliant people like Shawn that come up with these concepts, with these ideas, and I don't care who it is, just not necessarily me or Shawn, but there are so many people. Guess what? All the ideas are not in L.A. and New York. The ideas are between the two coasts. Like I always tell people, if I were an actual talent agent, first thing I would do is go Middle America and find the funniest people, because that's where they're playing at right now. And taking Shawn and his ideas and concepts for show, I don't know how you feel, Shawn, but that's me.
No, you're 100% right. The problem is people are too worried about self-preservation that they spend their whole time looking back, and they don't look forward. Their time horizon isn't stretched, and their vision somehow got sold out once they reached whatever position they got to that they were so worried about losing. It's just it's difficult to get people to listen to new ideas. Do I think that the well of new ideas is drying up? Absolutely not. It's bubbling over, but it's being able to get those new ideas in front of people that are willing to A, roll the dice, and B, being able to do something about it.
Absolutely. Goes without saying. And I give me creative people like Shawn. Give me something like that to create something that people would love and engages them to watch television or anything on any of the networks, on anything that's on there, even online. I'm telling you, your idea, smash idea. And that's why I wouldn't mind going ahead and working with you on that, to be quite honest with you.
We can certainly table that conversation.
Absolutely. And I got your number, brother. Shawn, first of all, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thanks,
Janice,
Shawn.
It's been great, and I want to wish you and your family a wonderful holiday season. And for all of my listeners right now, we're going to be back next week, and that'll be our last show until the new year. So listen, catch us. This is Basile, a pinch of Basile. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Merry